Welcome to A Pearl in Every Cowslip's Ear. This series was recorded here in our classroom with actual students. You just get to listen in. We are using Christian Light Education's curriculum. This is Language Arts 4, Book 1. Okay, Language Arts 4. We finished the quiz. You guys did very good on the quiz. I'm happy about that. Today's lesson is about verbs. Before we go into verbs, let's do a bit of review. Where did the English language get many of its words? From England? Yeah, the English people, but where else did the English language get many words? From other languages. It borrowed many words from other languages. Which of these tells who or what happened? A sentence or a fragment?
Sentence.
The sentence gives a complete thought. Good, the sentence gives a complete thought. A fragment just says part of what happened and you don't understand quite what all is going on. A noun is one of the 8 whats?
8.
A noun is one of the 8 noun, verbs, adjectives are all part of the 8 parts of speech. 8 parts of speech. It's a Monday morning, that's why your brains are kind of going slowly. They'll speed up. So nouns name what 4 things? Person.
Place, thing, or idea.
Thing or idea. And what are some ideas that nouns name? Can you give me a few? Joy. Faith. Love. Peace. Honesty. Great. All right, let's capitalize these letters up here that need capitalized. Jeffrey was born at St. Helens Hospital in September. What needs capitalized? Jeffrey.
St. Helens Hospital, September.
Good. Jeffrey was born in St. Helens Hospital in September. Those should all be capitalized. Now, today we are going to learn about verbs. Verbs are the words that make our language exciting. We have a book about verbs. It says, the verb is a word that is superb. It's a very nice word, and they say things like kings have gold, and that horses thunder down the road. These are some of the lines from that book. It's a nice book. It helps you learn what verbs are. But verbs come in two different senses. And a verb can show action, or a verb can show being. An action verb is a word that says that something does something. The lightning flashed, the thunder cracked, something that you can see. He kicked the ball. Those are all action verbs. There are other action verbs that aren't quite as much that you can see. The plant grew. You might have to come back tomorrow to tell the plant actually did something, but it grew. Or the boy thought. In his head, he's thinking. Or I love the cat. Love is an action verb. I'm not really doing anything, I might be snuggling with it, but you can't really see someone loving. But I love the cat. Those are some action verbs that you can't necessarily see, but we still say they're action because there's something happening. And then there are other verbs that are being verbs, and the being verbs just show that something exists, that it is. And God is love. God is, the verb is. He just exists. The boy was at school. The chalk is in my hand. I have been at school. That would be just existing. Some words are just existing. And the main being verbs that you have today, they're not giving you quite all of them. It's not quite fair. But here's the being verbs that you do need to remember. Am. Can you think of some more? Is, are, was, and were. Am is, are, was, were. Am, is, are, was, were. 5 of them. So remember those 5 being verbs and then tell me to find them. Okay, pick out the verb in the sentence. The people walked down the road. The verb is, call it out. Walked. The boys sang cheerfully. Sang. The chalk is in my hand. Is. The horse was eating grass. Eating and was. It's both of them, was eating, but I think that's a little more than you know yet. You know, you're still in 4th grade. You're not that big yet. That is for big people to know those kinds of things. Nah, you guys can know them too, but you don't have them in today's lesson. So was eating would be actually the verb, but they're both verbs. That would be called a helping verb, and all we have is being and action verbs today. Okay, let's go over the spelling words now, and I'm going to read them to you, and you reply back with them. So turn to your spelling list for lesson 6. It's going to be a little different words than you had for lessons 1 to 5. Am I correct? Do you get some new spelling words now with lesson 6?
Yes.
Okay, find that list wherever it is. It's in the back of your book, I believe, isn't it?
Yes.
And I'm going to read the word, and then you repeat the word back to me. First one is amusing,
Amusing.
cabin,
Cabin.
cellar,
Cellar.
coop,
Coop.
cottage,
Cottage.
friendship,
Friendship.
invisible,
Invisible.
kennel,
Kennel.
lean-to,
Lean-to.
library,
Library.
limb,
Limb.
mercy,
Mercy.
pantry,
Pantry.
silo,
Silo.
steeple.
Steeple.
Good. So remember that the last letter of limb, that B is silent, just like in lamb or limb, that B is silent. What is a silo?
Like a place where you store corn and...
Okay, you can store corn, silage, things. It's a tall, upright thing in which you store feed for animals usually. And what is a kennel?
Like a doghouse.
Good, where the dog lives. The dog lives in the kennel. All right, carry on with your work.